Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful to have you here. At this time, I would like to call up Dr. Lee Brown to lead us in our fast-breaking ceremony.
Okay, impromptu night at the convention center. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to call the fasters up on the stage, set in a circle, if that's okay with everyone, and we'll go from there. And then we're going to ask Bradley to sing an honor song, and then we will distribute the water and the berries. And then we will have the witnesses come forth and share what they've seen today and what they have witnessed. And I want to say that, many ways of breaking a fast, but if you haven't fasted before, one really important thing to pay attention to is your first swallow of water. And just witness how much energy there is in just one swallow of water. If you fasted for many days, it just goes through your whole body. And the berries. Berries are amazing medicine. They're one of the, when I mentioned I did some volunteer work at the Alternative Care Cancer Clinic at Vancouver General, and blueberries are phenomenal medicine. And they have, like all plants and water itself, they have a sentience, they have an awareness. We just seen an interesting film on water and its awareness of the words around it, and how it reacts to the words. And I was sharing with Paul last night that I was taking an elder woman who was a healing woman to a house on her reserve where a family had called her to a house in her own community. And when we got to the house, she said, "Lee, let's walk around the house before we go in." And she said, "Oh, look, there's a liver medicine. Oh, look, there's another liver medicine." As we walked around the house, there were 4 liver medicines. She said, "This man is going to tell us that he has liver problems," which of course he did. But the important teaching here is that the plants already knew that he had liver problems, and they had already come to help. They are aware of us in ways that most of us are not aware of them. They're watching us. And I was telling Paul, if a new plant shows up around your house, all of a sudden there's some plant there that wasn't there before, pay attention. Could be something. Could be coming to help you. They're always trying to help us. But as we say to the clients at Round Lake, human beings are hard to help. So really pay attention to that water and blueberries. And the healing medicine that's in a blueberry, I don't know if you may all know this already, but is the quality of the blueberry that defends itself against bugs and against blight. The blueberry's defense is what becomes our medicine when we eat the blueberry. And that's why it's very important, if you want to seek foods and plants for medicine and for healing, they need to be organic. Because blueberries are smart, and if you start spraying them with pesticide, it only takes a few generations.
Les bleuets, c'est intelligent et ça prend quelques générations avant que le bleuet dise: "Oh, j'en ai plus autant besoin. J'ai d'autres choses qui me protègent." Donc,
It can cut back down to where it gets down to about 20%, whereas an organic blueberry would have 100% of the healing medicine. So I know they're expensive. I know organic blueberries are expensive because I eat them myself as a medicine sometimes. But it's very important to be aware that they do have a medicine, and they are aware of their medicine. And when we break our fast a day and we take that first drink of water and we drink those blueberries, it's really good if you want to communicate, the intention. Intention is very important. A few years ago, I was feeding some calves through the winter, and I had a couple calves in my barn, and I go up every day to feed the calves, and And that year there was a lot of snow, and it kind of melted and kind of turned to ice, and it was kind of sliding down. It was about 4 feet hanging over the edge of the barn. And I thought, every day when I went up to feed my calves, I thought, I should knock that ice down. But I didn't. And then one day my friend Scott was visiting me, so I said, I better knock it down today. So I went to the woodshed and I got a rake and I'm going to knock that. And as we approached the barn, it just fell. And Scott said, the universe responds to intention. And I said, yeah, but it has to be 100%. My grandfather that I mentioned earlier today said that your intention has to be 100%. And so if you have an intention, and as far as I understand, our overall intention today is to end violence against women. Communicate that to the water, communicate that to the blueberries as you eat. Let them know. And water will become aware, as we make that intention. I heard the prophecy, I don't know if you've heard the prophecy, you often hear it at sun dances of the white buffalo calf woman, that there come a day in this land that a beautiful woman will be able to walk across to an island with not even fear of being harmed. With no fear of being harmed. It'd be nice to see that day come. So with that, I'd like to call the fasters up. We can kind of make a circle here. We're doing it a little differently this year. Thank each and every one of you. If we have enough room here, we might need 2 circles. This is a large group. Thank you for fasting. Thank you very much. We just make a count of circles, set it inward, and then right around the stage here. Is there enough room? Some people will have to set in the front with facing inward.
Sit down, eh?
Yeah, we're going to sit down. Have we got enough room? Might have to make a few in the middle. Put one guy in the middle and call it the hot seat. When we started Round Lake, we had these things called the hot seats where we'd put a client in the middle and just rag him down. Just tear him apart. And eventually we quit doing it because as a staff we realized that was our illness. That was our illness. The need to do that was our illness. And we stopped doing it as we learned in our own healing process. But anyway, we're not going to do that today. Okay, I'd like to call Bradley for an honor song. We're going to honor you for what you've done today, the sacrifice you've made on behalf of ending violence against women.
Haitskasiem sien stelacha. Haitskasiem Lee for inviting me up to share this time with our relatives that have made a commitment and a sacrifice of fasting today. Thank you for the teachings earlier today as well around fasting, and as I look at our family here that have made that time and that commitment for today. Also to any of our relatives virtually that have also made that commitment to acknowledge and that small sacrifice towards our women and children that perhaps today or perhaps yesterday experienced violence within their lives. That we keep those loved ones at the heart of the work that we do. And that they get to experience and witness the love and care of this circle as well. I want to bring acknowledgement as well to those berries and to the water that will be that sustenance for you as well. In our ways, chasa is our sacred water within our communities. And by sacred water, I mean the knowledge of our natural water springs that we had as communities. And we always, for some reason, my dad knew all the various natural springs on the South Island, but also into the Mid-Island area as well. And he'd always bring us there to drink the water of those spaces. And I didn't get it at that time, but I now get it as, that knowledge transfer of those sacred spaces where our ancestors for thousands of years likely collected water at those places. And growing up as an urban boy within my community, didn't get the chance to hunt like many of my other family members and brothers. And we shot BB guns at each other, but but never quite hunted in the way that many did to provide for their family. And so became very good at berry picking, actually. And often we'd go up to Campbell River to pick berries, huckleberries, and my granny would, my granny Maudie Gray, James, would can them for us, and then we'd be able to bring them home. And the treat, of course, was when we got to open those jar of berries and have them with a bit of ice cream. And oh, snap. So I learned young the sacredness of berries, and learned to understand, I guess, my own relationship to them with my grandma and the fond memories attached to that. And so feel very lucky that that was a part of my journey. And it's so ironic at that time, I had a dream that we were berry picking. I'm totally going off track here. And you're probably just like, I just want to eat my berry and my water. But I had this dream while we were up island, and these mother bear and her cub were in the same vicinity as the area that I was picking berries. And it's funny, you're talking about dreams earlier, and I remember so many of my dreams. It's weird. But this one was funny because it was actually the bear mom saying, "Oh, don't go near that. They're stinky," referring to me. And of course, as we understand and know, a bear's sense of smell is 5 times better than ours. So I imagine so then. But I just remember that dream because I was out berry picking in that dream. And then that bear mom was just like, "Oh, don't go near them," And so, but just I think that was acknowledging the sacredness of that space, and that actually that space is the bear's home, and that those berries are in relationship to the natural environment that they're around too. And so when I think about what my relative was sharing and my dear friend was sharing around our relationship to foods, I was up in Bella Bella and I was able to have wild blueberries up there, right? And to pick them right from the tree, and or the bush, and I was just like, oh, so delicious. But, I think about, those moments that we have, in terms of acknowledging, where those foods come from, the caretakers of those foods, where those natural springs are for that water, and the caretakers for that as well too, and that for generation upon generation, likely our relatives did something similar, where it's just like, oh, it's a new year, we haven't had berries for a while, and we've eaten flattened and preserved ones, but not, the fresh ones. And so that gratitude for that experience, that gratitude to know that we're not the only caretakers of those berries or those waters. Their natural environment is also that caretaker. So that speaks to our relationship too, and to my family and to our virtual family that are fasting. What does that relationship look like for you? And so I'm going to do a song, and it's a prayer song, and it talks about self-care. And it's in the Aixen Puntledge language, and talks about self-care. We can't look after others unless we're looking after ourselves. And then the second verse speaks to how we look after each other in community, and that we can't do the healing journeys without our loved ones being there with us. And so as you've made that sacrifice throughout the day, you've come together knowing that there's others doing the same journey as you. And then the last verse is talking about the whale and that the ancestors and supernatural ones that come to be with us, and that asking them for that love and guidance as well. And I'm going through this personal process of decolonizing what love and guidance is for myself, or what often is referred to as blessings or prayers. But in my own brain and in my own heart, I'm trying to decolonize what that looks like. And so for me, it's asking for love and guidance. And so as my uncle Lahichalak always shares, that we don't impose our cultural or spiritual beliefs on folks, but we ask you to ask for that love and guidance in your own way as well, in the way that you understand and how it speaks to your heart and your spirit. And it's important to do so. It's important to ask for that guidance. And I reflect on my morning and I always ask the ancestors to guide me in my words, to look after me as I share time within community, that my words be true to my heart and true to the teachings that my family has entrusted me with. And so I ask our relatives to think about what that is for you as well.
Shega
Would just like to express my gratitude. Aitzkasiem, Gela Kasla, Kleko, for the sacrifice that you've made today. May that love and that compassion shine and be that medicine for our loved ones that need it. Aitzkasiem.
Okay, for the much-awaited moment, we're going to ask the servers to bring up the waters and the berries. You have to go the other way. We can start going the other way. Pass them.
Grace, are you handing out water or water and berries?
Oh, okay.
Thank you. These instructions were not simple.
Everybody's got berries.
So you don't have berries? And you don't have my berries.
You got water? Everybody's good?
Everybody has the berries and the, everybody has berries and water? Okay. Well, the last final word, my new friend I met here today was from a language group that's related to Cherokee, so he was interested in how we say thank you. The Cherokee language and the Wyandot language are relative languages. And our word for thank you is wado, wado. So a big wado, wadoda to you right now. And with that, I would start with the water, then go to the berries, but you can do it the other way if you want. But thank you. Sometimes when I'm eating a medicine or something like that, I sit down beside it and I sing for a while for some good songs. So I'll just hum a little bit of an honor song for you guys here right now. A little bit of an honor song to honor you, and also to go into the berries and give you more strength and to go into the water. And now I'm going to call Taylor back up, and she is going to call the witnesses to speak. They'll share with us what they've observed today.
So they'll come off? Okay. I'll let them come off first. Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you to all of the fasters today. And thank you to Dr. Lee Brown and Yuxwelupton for the honor song and the fast breaking ceremony. So I'd now like to call Yuxwelupton back up here to call upon the witnesses.
Haitska CMCA and Yuxwelupton. Haitska CMCA and Yuxwelupton. I was just saying, I'm so impressed because she had no tutorial on how to say my name. And very impressed by my statement and her ability to say that. And so thank you for that. I've heard many variations of it, believe me. And I always tell people, I've been called worse. It's my humility and honor to call forward our dear ones to share a few words. And thanks to our relatives that are still joining us virtually as well. And it's that reminder that we formalize this process with 4 specific witnesses, but it's not to say that each of you aren't witnesses to today as well. And to our relatives that have joined us virtually as well. I want to take this moment as well to acknowledge, very specifically our extended family. Our relatives that have come into our Indigenous territories and, chose to call a part of our homes as their home as well, that have shown up, have chosen to spend this time with us, have chosen to walk with us as Indigenous community as we address ending violence against women and children and gender-based violence. You don't realize how important it is to have that type of advocacy to walk with us. Because as I was sharing earlier today, at 4:30 and 5:30, we don't get to just shut this off at the end of the workday. This is something that we walk with and breathe with and experience into the evenings and early into the mornings at times as families. And so you being here, you sharing this time, you acknowledging this work emphasizes the importance of this growth within our communities. So, Heights Kasiyam, Agela Kasla, Kleko Kleko. To my family, I always think we're stronger when we do things together. We always are. And those witnesses are a testament to that strength, because they're the ones that will hold us to account. They're the ones that will remind us about specific protocols at times. And they're the ones that will answer to community if there's any questions about how we've walked today. So thank you for that commitment. We'll start by calling our witnesses forward to share a few words. And I'd like to call Mederick up to share a few words. Heights Kasiyam.
Hello, everyone. I'm a Wendat from Wendake, so I guess I'm the witness from the east, where the sun rises. Our people call ourselves to the sunrise people. It's an honor to have been a witness of this wonderful day. Also, even a wonderful, it's a whole journey, I think, from with the fasting and the teachings and the learnings. I won't speak too long. I don't know exactly my role. I'm learning my role right now, but from what I listened from our knowledge keeper is the witness. What I witness is a day that started with good talk, with a prayer opening, and then I listened to two very wonderful keynote speakers, Elaine and Dr. Michael. And, I learned a lot of things and also made connections and links with learning and teachings that I have made during my path on the back of Turtle Island. And it's we have these things too. And Professor Michael was talking about when women have an important role or equity. And in my nation, in Wendat nation, we were we call that some people say matriarchal, but we say matricentrist. So the women were at the center of our culture, of our village, and we were living in the long houses of the clan mother of our wives, So I guess there were no violence back then because you were surrounded by your, in-law family. Well, it was not the way we were calling it, but, us men, we were always, doing diplomacy, doing trade and hunting, fishing, trapping. And so the village was really the place of the woman. And I think in that village, woman could walk and not fear of being harmed in any way. So, and for what I like with the Musai campaign is there's this two, and I think the way you balance it, they are linked, but the coming back to traditions, to the beliefs we had as nation, as communities, with also like, you know, I don't know, like Professor Brown when he talked about the fasting, you know, and the benefits. It's like it's modern, but it's linked with, you know, our beliefs and our traditions. So for me, I think it's what Move Side Campaign does the best is, you know, bringing, you know, traditions and, well, let's say modernity. It's not maybe the good word, but together so we can heal, you know, and go further. And we organized something that Raven and Katrine attend in Quebec region, and we worked the moose and we talked, and you know there was a sharing healing circle, and you know it's those things when they, I don't know, when you mix the both, then you obtain an atmosphere, or you know, that makes people you know, eating better and together. So as a witness, I cannot talk about the quality of the food or the water because I was fasting. So usually it's something that is very important in our traditions. But I'm sure it was perfect. So I'll be a witness of the feast later. So I'm very honored, and that was an honor for me to be here. And you know, like everyone, I just want to say thank you. And like Professor Brown was saying, us in Wendat Tiawank. So so Tiawank, and wish you the best to all my relatives. Thanks.
Just like to extend my gratitude to Medrick for your commitment to that role, and that reminder around, you know, what our villages are and what safety is. So thank you. I'd like to call forward Dr. Rai Moran to share a few words. Hi, Skasiam.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Tansi, Dishnakaswa Biganu, Mikanakdodem, Dishnakashan Rai Moran, Imachifnia. My name's Rai. I live here in Victoria. I'm a Métis, though, a Red River Métis. My dad's side of the family from Winnipeg, Manitoba. But very, very honored to call these lands at least home for now, where I raise my family. I live with my beautiful wife and my 2 children, and my extended family lives here as well, my sister, my nephews, my mom and dad. It's a very significant honor to be asked to witness this incredible day and this incredible ceremony, and thank you for inviting me in to the Lissert family. And thank you also for all of the ceremony and the good keeping that you're doing for all of us, creating the space for this protocol to happen. And certainly in observing that, what I have seen is the care and the respect that has gone into ensuring that this work is grounded in these lands here, which is so fundamentally important, because overall we're talking about setting right some profoundly disrespectful relations that have been created, disrespectful relations that have been created between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples, between men and women, between really peoples of the world and the planet itself. And the establishment of these respectful relationships, the building of good futures, can, must, and has to start with respecting the peoples of these territories here. So I really want to thank all of the care and the attention that's been put into this ceremony. There was so many wise words that were shared today, and thank you sincerely to all the speakers that offered those thoughts. And I just want to play back a few of the things that stuck out in my mind. And I can't capture it all because I took so many notes, but I just want to pull out a few themes. In this morning's keynote, Elaine, you talked about the need to stop mistaking silence for safety. That is very, very powerful. It's such a powerful observation, because I think when we do that big work of truth-telling, of truth and reconciliation, if you will. But fundamentally in that, we create the opportunity to look hard at the things that need to change, and look hard at the things that are holding us back from realizing our true and full potential as humankind. And in that, Dr. Michael, you talked about the idea that violence is not inevitable. It's something that has been created. It's a possibility, but it's not an inevitability, and that there are many examples of societies that have embraced deep-rooted principles of equality and respect as fundamental guiding principles in how they conduct themselves, that have prevented violence from occurring. And when I heard you say that, I think about all of the hard work that so many generations of leaders have done, that we've heard echoed in the room today by the wise words that have been shared as well, about all of that good medicine that helps push us onto that path of preventing violence from occurring in the first place. Because we know that once that violence has occurred, it's hard and it requires a lot of work and a lot of healing. So it truly is an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. And centering this good thought, these good thinking, these good medicines in our minds gives us a clear choice and a window, especially when we think about the gender-based violence and the violence against women that we're talking about, which continues to be an epidemic and a plague in this society. I also heard that we have to focus on how we raise boys to be men, how we raise boys to be loving and caring, and how we nurture the spirits of those young men to ensure that they walk in this world with respect and with kindness and with humility, and knowing that their role as a warrior is not to be someone who conducts violence, but to carry those good and loving principles that create that peaceful and lasting society for us all. Dr. Brown, in talking about fasting, said a number of course, amazing things. But he said, you can think without feeling, but cannot feel without thinking. And I know today I've felt many, many things. And of course, I've thought many things as a result of that. In my own short journey, I've been able to see just the power of how speaking from our hearts and to our hearts matters so much. And I think coming full circle to answering a question that was asked in the last session, answering the question, well, what is on your heart as you speak or prepare to speak? And I think there's, of course, many things in my heart, but I want to come back to Navia, the incredible speaker that we listened to out on the lawns of the legislature. And 18 years old. Wow. You know, what filled my heart so much there was just how we are in such good hands with the youth, and how we need to create every single possible opportunity to hear these young, powerful female voices that we have in our society, because these are the voices that have been excluded, and these are the voices that have to be heard loudly and proudly throughout every single aspect of our society, be it inside of institutions, inside of government, on the lawns of the legislature, like that. So in that, I think my final reflection is just the act of walking down the road there as we walked from Wawaditla to the legislature, and thinking about the other walks that I've had the fortune of walking in as well. And I was looking around at the crowd, and I was looking backwards, and I was looking forward, and I was thinking about that relationship between the past and the present and the future, and I was thinking about, you know, all of the walks that are still to come, but all of the walks that have happened as well. And I think in that, every time I'm surrounded by a group of people like yourselves that are in this room right now, and I've been watching as you've stayed, and you've been attentive, and you've been listening thoughtfully and opting into this, I'm powerfully struck by how important this collective teamwork is. And be it this walk today that we participated in, be it in walks that I've walked in to remember and honor the children that never returned home from the residential schools, be it in the walks that we've walked in for reconciliation when I saw Paul handing out the very early moosehide squares in the pouring rain of Vancouver. What I know is that there's a lot of good people in this world that are doing a lot of really good work and are fighting the good cause. And that gives me profound hope for the future. And I really want to, in conclusion, just say that I've seen all of you and your good hearts that are here today. And perhaps most importantly, I've also seen the very wonderful origins of this expressed as well in the strength of family that has been demonstrated by Raven and Paul, the founders. This all came from them being together as a family and choosing to be together with one another and doing stuff that is fun and doing stuff that creates memories and being a healthy family together. And that in and of itself has been shown so powerfully about what that healthy start and those healthy family relationships can create, because we're all a product of that good relationship and that investment that went into that. So miigwech, merci, thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to offer these words.
Just like to thank my dear friend Rai for his words, for his commitment to witnessing as well. I'd like to invite Nipik up to share a few words.
Unusakud, Uvanga Atinga Ningrapek Kolola. Montreal mi Inulu Simayunga, Atatagi Lortora, Nuvalia Kolola Guyuk, Kimi Ru Miu Tau Lautuk, Ananaga Christina Neal. Ontario Miao Tau Luktuk, Victoria mi Nuna Kalik Tunga. What I just stumbled through there, saying in Inuktitut, is that my name is Ningyurapik Kolola. My late father was Novalia Kolola from Kimirut, Nunavut, and my mother is Christina Neal from Ontario, and I now live in Victoria. My name means nice little old lady, named after my grandmother, my late grandmother, and an honor that I hope to grow into one day. I came here today as a witness for the Moose Hide campaign and to witness the Lissert family. And what I observed today is the care. So much care for each other and for community. For your community, which is smaller, and then also for the larger community across Turtle Island. I've noticed that through care, you're bringing people together, and things can feel impossible when you feel alone. And when you bring everybody together, things feel possible. This is something that we can take on and act upon as a collective. And a big part of that is starting conversations. We've had so many conversations here today, lots of different conversations, but all that center on this really important piece of peacefulness, of nonviolence. I didn't take notes of all the things that everybody said today. There was a lot, and I just soaked it in, and it feels like such an honor to be here. So, nakumik. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my dear sister for her words. Imagine communication helping us and that care around communication. You know, that ability to communicate and that care that comes with it. Thank you for that reminder. I'd like to invite my relative, Carolyn Sampson, as witness. Haitzka Siem.
Haitzka. For those who don't know me, I'm Carolyn Sampson. I'm of Coast Salish and Nez Perce ancestry. Coast Salish, I'm both Cowichan tribes and Tsarlip. And I've always seen moose hide as an opportunity to do intergenerational healing. When we look at how the violent behavior has transferred down through the generations, and then seeing the young people, the men, the women, making that commitment to end violence. I've always seen it about intergenerational healing. And the speakers that are called, they're people who touch our hearts, our minds, you know, our spirit, our souls. It nurtures that, it feeds that, so that we as individuals, we can do our individual healing, and we do our family healing, and we do our community healing. And it's through that healing that we do, that's what it's, you know, coming here, it allows those who behave in a way that's not them. It's that part of, you know, they're adapting. They've adapted because they haven't had the tools to behave in a way that they've wanted to. So they were perpetuating that intergenerational violent behavior. But I've always seen coming here, and it's like, you know, every year that I come, and I was here in the real early days when we were down at the hotel way down there. You know, and there was just a few of us, me and my colleague from the office, you know, we went down and we supported. But I've always seen it about intergenerational healing. You know, there aren't a lot of things in community that really allow someone, men and women, because women perpetuate violence too. I'm not saying that it's just men, but it really provides that and affords that opportunity to make that commitment and to do that intergenerational healing. But we're also creating that new path for the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren that are still to come. And that's where it's, you know, I think of when this first started, you know, I'm grateful that people have that ability to have those hard conversations and to say those really bold things that are hard to say. I appreciate that. And because it's through those tough conversations, it's by, you know, feeling all the feelings that we feel when we're here throughout the day and the days that are going to follow as we continue doing our individual healing. And so I've always appreciated this because it's a way for particularly men who have wanted to change but didn't know how, didn't know where to look, didn't know who to help. And this is where it's, you know, it's, you know, now it isn't just in Victoria now it's across Canada. And that's the really cool thing is it's helping our brothers right across Canada. And that's where I see that intergenerational healing happening. As I change, I create a different path for my nieces and nephews. The more that I've healed, I've created that different path for my grandnieces, my grandnieces and grandnephews. So I appreciate being called as a witness today, Haitzka. And my hope is that everybody just continues their healing. And you know, it is hard work. It is hard work to do that intergenerational healing, you know. It's taking that fear that we have and stepping into our courage to really say the difficult things that we want to say about ourselves or about someone else, to really do that intergenerational healing by naming it, that change happens, and that's how that intergenerational healing happens. And I've always had gratitude and appreciation for the Moose Hide campaign, because it gives those who want to do differently an opportunity to do something differently. Echkahela.
Hi, it's Kasiem, my sister and cousin. I'm going to invite the Lacerte family up to stand with me up here, please. The magic and the beauty of our island is that it's small. And when I said I'm related to half the island, I'm not joking. My dear relative and cousin were connected through Huichotlipp, through Sartlip, First Nations community, where my Granny Lila, Paul, was from. And that's where my name Yuxwelupton comes from. But as we talk, and as I learn about my family's tree as well, my great-great-granny Annie Asu married Captain Timothy, and Captain Timothy was the son of Chief Joseph II, and from the Nez Perce. And so we're connected in two ways on the island here, and it's such a beautiful thing to know that that we've got family, everywhere, and that we have connection in many communities. And I think that's the beauty of many of our cultural teachings, is that that conventional word of what family is for us, it's just acknowledging who and our relations as community. Because that word Nishwalakwa, or Shwalakwa, is our close family, and Shchalacha is our extended family. So we didn't have a word for friend or neighbor. We always referred to whomever was coming into our space or wherever we were traveling were our extended family, or our family. So that's how we treated one another. And that was the beauty of our teachings and our ways, because then it held us to account in how we showed up in different spaces as well. And that's why I've asked my family to be up here with me, is that as we conclude the witnessing work, just on behalf of my family here, the Moose Hide family, Raven, Paul, Dominic, Jace, and the Lacerte family, that we raise our hands to the witnesses for, the role that you have played in the work that was done today. And thank you for what you have captured in relationship to today. And that the encouragement within our community is that when you go home, wherever that may be, that you share with your loved ones what you experienced as well. And that that's an encouragement to each of you to have that opportunity to share with family or friends or whomever you call your family, and to our virtual relatives as well, that to take that opportunity to have that conversation around what you experienced and what you witnessed yourself. And think about what those takeaways were for you. Think about the gifts, the knowledge transfer that you want to capture and say, oh, I like that. I'm going to carry that and see how I can walk with it. And so on behalf of our family here, we just raise our hands to you as witnesses and thank you for doing that humble work for us. Haitzkasiem. Hey, Aqua. That's all for now.
forgot to lower it for me. Thank you again, Yuxwelupton, for doing such important work for the family. I would now like to invite Raven back up to the stage for the final closing remarks.
Raven asked me to just share a few words before we close out today. Just the deepest gratitude. Thank you to each and every one of you for your medicine today, for your commitment to be part of this movement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted to just say a thought about the passage ceremony that's happening. I just want to talk about passage ceremony for a minute. People have been talking about this idea of becoming and passage ceremony, and I hope for folks that are joining us online and for the people here, I guess I want to acknowledge that we're all experiencing a passage ceremony in our own lives as individuals. Like, we're going from our current state to our desired future state. And as Raven said this morning, like, better is always possible. It sure is for me. I'm going to be on a healing journey for my whole life. So I'm in like this ongoing passage ceremony. Our family is in a passage ceremony. My dad is here and my mom is both here. They're both alive and with us. Me and my brother Roger and my sister Catherine and my sister Marianne, we're all here, and our kids are here, and our generation in our family is going through a passage healing, intergenerational healing, strength building. My kids are here. Raven, Sherilyn was here, and Andrew, their kids. Sage was here, my daughter Sage, and she's healing she has a really serious ailment, and so our family, that generation, is going through a passage ceremony, and now Chas and Cedar are here, and little Charlie, and all of the young ones in our family. So that's 4 generations of our family that are here in this room that are healing. We're healing and building strength and momentum together with you, and it's such an honor to be together with you, together with our brother Yuxwelupton, together with our deep relatives, our important relatives, that are on this journey with all of us. I'm just so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that, and to that we're seeing this medicine happen across the country. And I just want to talk about Raven for a second, because she's going through a passage ceremony. You've watched her, for a lot of you that have been involved in this thing for the last 14 years, you've watched Raven go from 16 plus 14, 30. She's 30 now. And so she's gone now through a passage ceremony to become the executive director of the organization. And how wonderful as her dad to be able to witness that she leads with love, and that she works her butt off, and that she doesn't take any one of you or any one of you online or anybody in the organization for granted ever. We had an opening circle, and she looked around the circle and she's like, there's a leader in every seat in this circle of the organization. That's how she is, and so to watch her learn and grow in this medicine, and then to become ready to go through that rite of passage to take on the administration responsibilities of growing an organization and growing a movement across this country. I'm just so grateful, because this idea of it takes a community, and there has been so much reflection of love and support and kinship and guidance that has happened to build that readiness. And this is this generational work that we have, and it's why I am just stepping further and further back and out of her way. And for any of the dads or men that are watching, we're not going to get to that gender equity that Michael was talking about until we start to do that. We have to like actively like vacate the spaces that we've been like over occupying for way too long. And so we're trying to do that in the Moose High campaign. And so I didn't want to say anything today or tonight. I want that space to be held up for Raven. But Raven was like, well, maybe just say a few things before we close. So it just, yeah, there's a lot that we have to do that. And that's where the healing is going to come. That's where our accountability is going to come. And we have to be activated in that space, and we have to take that responsibility very seriously. And that's the greatest thing we can do to create that change, is to rematriate everything as soon as possible. Yeah, those are the things that I wanted to say. And thank you so much to all of you. Now moonwalk back. And
I'll moonwalk in. Thanks, Dad.
Okay, hi. Good evening. Thank you to those that are still here. Thank you to those that are on the live stream. Today has just been such a full, beautiful day. And I just have so much like deep gratitude in this moment, that I would just like to share a few acknowledgements and thank yous and love for, I would want to just say thank you to every single person in this room, every single person on the live stream. There's a few key people that I would love to share a moment to acknowledge. From coast to coast to coast, we've walked in ceremony, in truth, and in action. We've fasted, we've drummed, we've listened, we've learned, and most importantly, we've stood in our shared commitment to ending violence. The medicine and the work that was done today continues to fuel our effort for the year to come. It really does really fuel me and our team for the year to be in this moment of action and of this collective effort. It gives me so much hope for our future, and it makes me feel like we're doing this for something. It's working, people are healing, and so it really helps me during my days, as this is our job. This is our everyday job, and it's such an honor to be in this space. So I'd like to acknowledge our elders for joining us today. Thank you for your leadership, your wisdom, your strength, your love, and your support. To all of those who fasted today, I have been praying for you all day long and really acknowledging the sacrifice that you all made today to go without your food and water, and sit in that uncomfortable feeling of being hungry and thirsty for this purpose of ending violence, and having that moment to have that self-reflection. It's something that I just makes me feel so like respected and loved and cared for when people are in that ceremony. So it always just fills my heart to see when the people come and fled to the stage and sit in this circle and have this berry ceremony, and to know that so many are breaking their fast across Turtle Island is so special. To our keynotes, Elaine and Michael, thank you both so much for your words and for traveling here to be with us in person, and for everything that you shared today. I learned so much just from sitting and listening. I always do every time I get a chance to hear from both of you, and I'm just so grateful for your love, for the work that you have done to help so many people. And so felt so inspired and so much to like think about and process as we go, and I could just listen to you both like forever. Thank you to our incredible MC, Taylor. So excited. I'm like fangirling to have her here and joining us. Next time we'll have a little step stool for you. I don't know if anyone saw at the walk. She was on her little tiptoes because the podiums are so tall. But you've done an incredible job, and we feel so grateful to have you join us today. She hosted her own Moose High campaign gathering in Edmonton yesterday, and then hopped on a plane as soon as it ended so that she could be here and MC the day for us today. Thank you to the Unity drummers. It's always so special to be supported through the walk, and I love drumming and singing and walking and being in space with each of you. I'm so grateful for that opportunity and that you keep showing up every year in such a beautiful way and guide us in such a beautiful way. To our witnesses, Médéric, to Rai, Napik, and to Carolyn, thank you so much for coming. Médéric flew all the way from Quebec, so it's so awesome. We got a chance to spend some time together a few weeks ago. He hosted us, and it was such a beautiful few days to sit in circle and a healing circle and to scrape a moose hide, and it was so awesome. It was really cool. There's the lady they call her the roadkill lady, and she brought an otter, and we got to do the whole process. It was to be on the land and in practice, and for this like moose hide campaign gathering was so special. So I really appreciate the witnesses for your to witness what is happening today and to carry that forward into your own communities. And into your own spaces forever after this, when people can come back and ask about what happened here today, that they can come to you, and that I'm really grateful for that, your role here today. Thank you to all of our workshop hosts. I feel like we need like a round of applause for the workshops. There were so many incredible workshops this year. Lots of them are like recorded and people can go back and watch them, so that if there's any that you didn't get a chance to hear and want to, then there's lots of opportunity to keep building those skills. There's so much, like even just the moments that I've been able to hear today, there's so many like golden nuggets and beautiful learnings and teachings, and so just so grateful. We talk about like building these tools for our tool belts about how to be in this space in good and safe ways, and those workshops are so important for that work and for us to be able to learn those tools. So the community champions is so awesome. We were able to train up over 600 community champions this year. Every 2 weeks from January until May, we host this community champion training session and invite in anybody that wants to learn how to bring this medicine into their own spaces in whatever way. And so we had over 600 people join us this year, and many of them hosted some form of an event or gathering of ceremony. And it's so cool. It's so awesome to see that like community leadership, people hosting their own gatherings, their own ceremonies. And so this is happening, sacred fires across the country. Oh no, I missed Yuxwelupton. I am so grateful to you and to Lee for all of your, this part's gonna make me get emotional. Stepping into this new role, the like cultural part of the work and doing this work in a good way became more of something that I had to carry for our organization. And it's a big deal to invite people into ceremony. And it was really important to me to do it the best job that I possibly could. And so I did a lot of calling on both of you to make sure that if I had a question or wasn't sure, then I'm like, let me ask Yuxwelupton, hold on. And so I just am really grateful for all of your patience and encouragement and support and love, helping me in this new role and learning. And so just feeling very, very grateful for that. There's a whole bunch of people that are joining virtually, watching the plenary, participating in workshops, joining the Walk to End Violence. Those that are watching now, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, that your spirit and your commitment is what makes this ceremony so powerful and helps us get one step closer to achieving our mission. I'd like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to our incredible sponsors and supporters who stand with us on this journey. So to our national sponsors, TELUS, Lululemon, Scotiabank, BMO, the Canada Post Community Foundation, the Robertson Technology Group, the Government of Canada, of BC, and of Manitoba, thank you. You are not just sponsors, you are champions of change. You've shown what it means to lead with heart, with courage, and with a commitment to building a more just and compassionate Canada. Your generosity fuels more than a campaign. It fuels hope, healing, and the restoration of relationships. Because of you, this medicine reaches classrooms, council chambers, community halls, kitchen tables across the country. You're helping us hold space for ceremony, for learning, and unity on a national scale, and we're so grateful for that. To our regional and community funding partners, thank you for bringing this work to life on the ground. Your contributions are what allow the medicine to take root in local communities, and you've helped bring ceremonies to life in cities, towns, and nations across this country, and we're so grateful for your leadership and generosity. And to our individual donors, every single contribution, large or small, is felt. It's a gesture of solidarity and care. You are a vital part of this wave of change, and we honor you. Together as funders and partners, you're helping to create a future free from violence. You're supporting a movement grounded in Indigenous values, one that holds love, respect, wisdom, and trust at its core. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for walking this path with us. Thank you for believing in the healing power of this work, and for being part of the medicine. Thank you to our dream team. I don't have enough words to express like the love and gratitude that I have for the team at Moose High Campaign. They've been working really hard, like round the clock, for a long time to prepare for this day, to make sure that everyone feels loved and supported, and most importantly, safe. So it means a lot to me to have a team that I just have so much trust and love and care for, to be able to help steward this medicine and this ceremony in a good way. There's a whole bunch of behind the scenes staff as well that I'd like to thank. The SW, our AV partner, our SM Global, our interpreters, Island Deaf and Hard of Hearing, the RT Group, our incredible IT firm. They've done a ton of support for us with all the hiccups along the way. And so they've just been super awesome to help make sure that this day can go off as smoothly as possible. And finally, I'd just like to close my comments here tonight with a giant love and gratitude to my family. my husband Dom and my two beautiful, sweet, precious little babies that are here running around, Cedar and Choss. They have been supporting me. There's Choss. Hi, Choss. Did you hear your name? I was just saying how much I love you. They have been like so supportive. I've been on the road a lot. I've been working a lot. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with this, lots of different jobs and work along the way, and this is one of them. And so grateful for all of that love and support. And to my dad for showing me the way. For wanting to start this whole thing for me and my sisters, for supporting me on my journey and through this transition. Grateful to be able to have this chance, opportunity to live this life with you, and to laugh and to work hard together, and do this healing work together. And just doing this work to like lift people up. It's just, we're here because my dad cared to start a national movement for the safety of his kiddos. And I'm just so lucky to be one of those kiddos. And so I just want to acknowledge also the cedar boughs that are here as well. And the ferns, they've been... what is the word? Bradley suggested that we have them here to help support the ceremony today. And so Dom gathered these from his home out in Sartlip and put some tobacco and prayers down for them. And it's just felt like such good medicine to be in this room with a little bit of this medicine. I got brushed off at our walk to end violence today with some cedar, and it is such a strong medicine for me. I've got a tattoo. My daughter's name is Cedar, and it's just such powerful medicine to be in this like theater with these medicines. It makes me think about the sweat when we lay it down and sit on it when we're in the sweat. And so I've just been feeling very supported through this day and grounded by these medicines. And these poor little ferns, we got them the other day because we were trying to be on top of it, and I think we got them a little too soon. And this one is looking a little bit sad because we've been so busy working and forgot to water them. So we'll take care of those ones. So as we close, I'll just invite you all to carry this feeling forward, to keep wearing your moose hide pins, to keep walking your talk, to keep holding each other accountable in love. The work doesn't end here. It, in fact, begins again tomorrow in our homes, in our workplaces, in our communities. Let today be a reminder that we are stronger together, that healing is possible, that change is happening, and you are part of it. Thank you. Masicho Awetza.
I think I've said wow like 5 times.
Je pense que j'ai dit wow à 5 reprises pendant ce discours. Wow, quelle journée.
Raven, I want to say just a personal
Raven, je veux dire merci personnellement. Je te remercie personnellement de m'avoir invité sur ton territoire, dans ta famille. Je suis honorée d'avoir participé à cette merveilleuse journée et cérémonie avec vous tous. Willaliak.
Yeah, thank you for bringing your good thoughts, your integrity.
Merci d'avoir amené vos belles pensées, votre intégrité et vos actions. pour participer à la campagne Moussaide. Avant de conclure, aujourd'hui, on aimerait vous partager une vidéo que l'équipe de Media One a conçue pour récapituler cette merveilleuse journée.
What a day. So let's keep that momentum going on so that our future generations will thrive. Please take a moment, if you can, to fill out the feedback form, if you haven't already. And until our paths cross again, good night, everyone. Wilaliok. Thank you.